Mr. Bhaskar Bhat joins us now. He's managing director with Titan, needs no introduction whatsoever.
Mr. Bhat, morning. Can you hear me clearly?
Good morning. Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, great. Let's begin our discussion then. And GST, currency replacement, and now the squeeze in credit is said to be hurting the smaller jewelry names, or rather jeweler names, which I guess in turn would have benefited you. Have you really witnessed this on ground?
I don't know cause and effect, but certainly our brands in jewelry are growing very healthily, and now there could be the effect of demonetization and GST on the others, and they are taking some time to recover from that perhaps. Also, the incidence of use of cash was very high in this industry, and even consumers have now begun to thanks to the regulation, have begun to realize that all the KYC and PAN card etc. Need to be those rules need to be followed. So then it is Tanishq will be the most desirable jeweler to come to.
Okay. So, I mean, what do you think, or rather hope, that your jewelry market share would rise up to in the medium term? Any target internally that you may have that you could share with us, maybe a 2023 plan as well?
No, certainly we have had this desire to achieve a 10% market share of the 250,000 crore market at one time. But our plans now quite exceed that. A 10% share of what market, etc., whether the impact of GST and demonetization is going to impact the total size of the market and so on is a question mark. So we have set for ourselves in jewelry a 2.5 times multiple from the 2017-18 level. Now we are looking at a significant jump, twice the sale of the current financial year in that 2023. For the company, it's about 52,000 crores, of which roughly 40,000 crores is jewelry.
Mr. Bhat, you're also looking at expanding big time, especially in smaller towns where local and family-owned jewelry stores dominate. What's your strategy there? How many stores do you plan to open, and what kind of growth contribution do you expect from that market? Because, the rural theme is a big one that everybody is betting on unleashing.
I'd like to separate these two themes, rural and jewelry, because jewelry is so deeply penetrated in India that there is very little distinction between penetration in rural India and urban India. The kind of jewelry that is bought is perhaps different, but the penetration is almost complete. So a desirable brand like Tanishq, when it enters a smaller market, the migration to Tanishq is very, very high. Therefore, our objective of opening 40 stores every year is what is going to serve the growth or help us achieve the growth that we are planning. But that doesn't mean urban growth will be stymied. We are opening stores in urban India, I wouldn't say urban India, in the larger cities, as well in underrepresented areas for jewelry, much like the other product categories as well. So small town is not just a discovery, it is certainly where the potential for jewelry is already existing.
Right. Okay. What has been the pace of new customer acquisition, Mr. Bhat, so far? And given the issues around smaller, unorganized jewelry players, do you see the pace quicken?
Yes, we do see a quickening of that pace. Our new customer acquisition has grown quite significantly, which is why I said that we have been increasing market share. So the new customer acquisition is not new to jewelry, but it is new to Tanishq or Carrot Lane or Zoya or Mia, because people have migrated from the other jewelers.
The ration of studded jewelry sales has been falling off late, and correct us if we're wrong here. What is the growth target that you've set out for yourself when it comes to particularly studded jewelry?
Well, the proportion of studded jewelry as a total is a bit of a let's say mistake in assessing the jewelry business of Titan. The studded jewelry growth is usually higher in terms of number of customers that we serve, but the price of gold determines the plain gold jewelry sale. So when price goes up or down, there is a certain surge or slackening of demand for plain gold jewelry, whereas diamond jewelry doesn't face that kind of volatility. So you do see proportions dropping off or rising, and we are very confident of we are at about 30% levels, which is much higher than the market. I'm talking a proportion of studded jewelry to the total, and that will not slacken off. In fact, it's only going to improve because of the initiatives we're taking with diamond jewelry. But having said that, the thrust in wedding jewelry, which is primarily plain gold, is also very strong. So there will be a almost equivalent increase in both in terms of growth.
I believe you're also focusing on the wedding jewelry market with renewed vigor. I mean, we've seen the slew of weddings from celebrities that have, bombarded Twitter and social media over the last 4 weeks. So clearly, there needs to be a lot of focus there. You'd earlier spoken about there being no wedding dates this year, but of course, we've seen that change. So what's the outlook for 2019?
Wedding jewelry is not a new thrust. It's a 3-year-old effort from the jewelry division. The wedding dates in the early part of the year were less. Right now we are sitting in the wedding season. There are many more dates for December, and thereafter, after the 15th of January, it's going to be a very good wedding season, urban wedding season, and our products are targeted at those weddings. A proportion of wedding to the total is also improving, but our market share in wedding jewelry has been small compared to the total market share. So we have some way to go because we started late in this segment.
So I know you've laid out a broad plan, but the current share of wedding jewelry is about 30%. How much higher can it go up from here?
Well, our share of the wedding jewelry market is much less than 10%. And wedding jewelry is a very sizable part of the total market. So our idea will be to achieve 10% share of the wedding jewelry market to begin with. We are much less than the 5% we already have as a market share for the company. We are not targeting any proportion of wedding jewelry to the total, because these are all initiatives and the outcome could be very different depending on price of gold and so on. But the total target of 40,000 crores by 2023 is what is more important than the segment shares. And achieving 35-40% studded jewelry sale will be the effort in that venture of 40,000 crores.
Okay, Mr. Bhatt, would have loved to chat about watches, etc. as well, but I believe you've got a rush for a meeting, so we'll let you go on that note. Thanks so much for taking the time out and speaking with us today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.